Royal Enfield is one of the oldest motorcycle companies in the world, and its most popular model, the Bullet 350, launched in 1931, is the longest running production motorcycle in the world. The company is over 120 years old and has gone through several ups and downs to last for a century. Hello, I'm Jayesh and this is Hustlers TV. In this video, we will see the story of Royal Enfield. The story of Royal Enfield starts in the United Kingdom. Albert Eddy was working as a manager at the Perry & Co.'s cycle department. The company made pens and parts for bicycle. One of their supplier was the Rudge Cycle Company. Robert Walker Smith, who would later start the Enfield company with Albert Eddy, was working as an assistant work manager at the Rudge Cycle Company. He was responsible for the parts and fittings which were sold to Perry & Co. This is where Albert Eddy and Robert Walker meet. The duo wanted to start their own cycle company, hence in November 1891, Robert Walker Smith and Albert Eddy bought George Townsend & Co. of Hunt End, Redditch, UK. Townsend & Co. was a well-respected needle manufacturer who had recently began manufacturing bicycles. After buying it, they renamed the company to Eddy Manufacturing Co. Along with bicycles, they used to sell lawnmowers and stationary engines. Just after 2 years in business, the duo won a contract to supply precision parts to the Royal Small Arms Factory of Enfield, Middlesex. In celebration of this order, they decided to call their new bicycle the Enfield and created a new company called the Enfield Manufacturing Co. Limited. In 1896, they also incorporated a new subsidiary company called the New Enfield Cycle Company Limited to handle increasing demand of their bicycle business. The same year in 1896, Robert Walker Smith designed their first bicycle. It was called the Enfield. The following year, they renamed their bicycle to Royal Enfields after the Royal Small Arms Factory, and the trademark "Made Like a Gun" was introduced. After venturing into the bicycle market in 1898, Robert Smith designed the company's first motorized vehicle. It was not a bike, but a car. They called it the quadricycle. It was built around two sturdy bicycle frames and used a 1.5 HP DD-on engine. The same year, Eddy Manufacturing Company was merged with the New Enfield Cycle Company, and they renamed their company the Enfield Cycle Co. Limited. In the year 1900, Royal Enfield entered into motorsports with its quadricycle in the inaugural 1,000-mile cross-country trial race from London to Edinburgh and back. The event does much to convince the British public of the viability of motorized transport. Their car business suffered losses for nearly 19 months, hence they sold their car business to Birmingham's All Day and Onions Pneumatic Engineering. In the year 1901, Royal Enfield introduced its first motorcycle. It was designed by Robert Smith and the Frenchman Jules Gauthier. It had a 1.5 HP Minerva engine mounted on a bicycle chassis. In the year 1909, Royal Enfield introduced its first V-twin using a 297cc Swiss-made Motorscotch engine. In 1914, Britain entered World War I, and Royal Enfield was picked to supply a large number of motorcycles to the British War Department. Royal Enfield manufactured two-stroke and the 770cc 6 HP V-twin motorcycles. Along with the British Army, they also supplied motorcycles to Belgium, French, United States and the Imperial Russian Army. After the end of the war, Enfield continued with its development and in 1924 launched its first Royal Enfield 350cc OHV 4-stroke motorcycle with foot-operated gear change. The same year, they introduced a unique 225cc 2-stroke step-through ladies Model 2. In 1926, a major fire breaks out at the 18-acre Redditch factory. The company's own fire brigade manages to fight the flames which threaten to engulf the entire plant. In 1931, Albert Eddy, who was one of the co-founders of the company, passes away. 2 years later, in 1933, the other partner Robert Smith dies too. His son, Major Frank Smith, who had been the joint managing director with his father for a number of years, assumes full control of the New Enfield Cycle Company. In the year 1932, the legendary Bullet motorcycle was born. It was first displayed in the November 1932 at the Olympia Motorcycle Show in London. 3 versions of the motorcycle were produced, 250, 350 and 500cc. In the year 1933, the groundbreaking Model Z Sizer goes on sale. Aimed at commuters, this 148cc 2-stroke featured a fully enclosed engine and leg shields for protection. In the year 1939, World War II started and Royal Enfield produced large quantities of military motorcycles, bicycles, generators for the military. The most iconic motorcycle from the World War II is the 125cc airborne motorcycle known as the Flying Flea. This 126cc two-stroke can be loaded into a specially fabricated parachute cradle and dropped with paratroops behind enemy lines. Post-war, Royal Enfield resumed production of its single-cylinder OHV 350cc Model G and 500cc Model J. These were right-to-work basic models in a world hungry for transport. In 1952, Royal Enfield star rider Johnny Britton won the prestigious Scottish 6-day trial on his 350cc Bullet. In the year 1960, Royal Enfield launched its first ever Interceptor. It had tuned version of the company's biggest engine, the 692 Vertical Twin, and was only sold in the United States and Canada. In the year 1964, the iconic Continental GT Cafe Racer was launched, to great acclaim when a team of journalists ride one from John O'Groat to Land's End in under 24 hours, including 8 laps of the Silverstone circuit. The GT featured a fiberglass racing petrol tank, clip-on handlebars, rear seat, a humped race seat, rev counter, and a swept-back exhaust. In the 1960s, Japanese motorcycle companies like the Honda Suzuki entered the market and took the market by storm, offering high-performance motorcycles for cheaper prices to the masses. Many of the European and American companies couldn't compete with these Chinese companies and went bust. Royal Enfield struggled too. By 1967, with only 2 models left in production at the start of the year, the 250cc Continental GT and the 736 Interceptor, Royal Enfield closed its Redditch factory and the site was sold to developers. By June 1970, the company was altogether closed. Luckily, in the year 1948, when India became independent, Royal Enfield partnered with the Madras Motors and formed a new company called the Enfield India. Enfield India opened manufacturing unit and started manufacturing motorcycles. Hence, when the Royal Enfield's Redditch factory closed, the Indian unit, Enfield India, was fully operational and carried the Royal Enfield legacy from there on. In the next video, we will see the story of Enfield India. The next video will be up by tomorrow, so if you're new to this channel, then please consider subscribing so that you get notified. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel and do check out our other videos. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.